Tunley's log. It's first week of September 2025, and I'm actually on my second session of the weekend, but I'm going to talk about the first session. Now, the reason why I'm not going to talk about this session is because it didn't go very well, and a blank is a blank, you know. So, but yesterday was definitely not a blank. Now, I got invited by a good mate of mine called Richard. He invited me to a section of river he knows, and he said, let's go fishing and bring big gear because you're likely to catch a lot and quite big fish as well. So I thought, okay. So off I trundled, and the approach, I was going to go with a heavyweight feeder and a heavyweight float and mix it up during the course of the day and see how I got on. Well, I had spectacular fun. So more of that in a minute. So got there, set up, and went with the dark carbon 12-foot 1 3/4 with 15-pound line and 12-pound hook link, and unfortunately a small wire gauged hook at first, and started catching bream on the cage feeder with pellet corn, mashed bread, usual thing. Great fun, great river bream coming in, but then did hook one of the big resident barbel. Couldn't do anything about it. Just kept taking me down towards the snag. Richard kept saying, you got to stop it before it gets there. I didn't. I just wound down tight and the hook opened up and it slipped off. So, okay. So back to boshing out the feeder and bringing in the river bream. Had a few chub as well, and went over onto the float for some fun, but there was a terribly strong downstream wind and it really scuppered plans for float fishing, because we really just wanted to get on them. The sort of technique we were going to do was catch a few on the feeder and keep a bed on the deck of bait and then trot over the top, so we didn't have to spray maggots or spray bait because of all the small fish. But it was really difficult, but we did actually succeed in hooking up on a few on the float as well. So the rod, as I said, the feeder, the rod I used on the feeder was the 12-foot dark carbon 1 3/4, 15-pound line fixed ball reel. Strong rod, but needed it for that kind of conditions. And the float rod was the 13.6 Mark Tunley Mark 1 specialist float rod, 1 pound 5, so 1.5 test curve. Now that is a big mouthful. I'll say it again. Mark Tunley Mark 1 specialist float rod, 13.6, 1.5 test curve. I should have just called it the Zorro blade or something, you know, it'd been so much easier, but it is what it is. It's a fantastic rod, great for big fish, would have handled barbel if I'd have hooked one, definitely the chub and the bream, no issues. And the bream was spectacular. I had them over 7 pound and they were coming in average just below 6. And I had 17 of them and 3 chub, 17. On the float and the feeder. It was great, fantastic. Total contrast to today's little backwater streamy fishing for chub and barbel and not getting anywhere. So the reason why I'm doing this chat about today was the noise was terrible in the area and I really couldn't hear myself think, let alone do this. So I thought I'd just have a chat to the camera later on and do my log then. So I'm going to carry on. You never know, I might come back and do a little bit of a footage in a minute, but I doubt it. I think a blank is on the cards. But thanks for watching and enjoy your fishing.